Well, you can't come to Hollywood without coming to Sunset Boulevard. And if you're going to come to Sunset Boulevard, you got to come here to the Guitar Center, music store here in Hollywood, California. Oh, they've been here a long time. I can remember at least 25 years of myself coming here, being a former drummer and what have you. Met some great people here. I remember meeting Stevie Wonder here. Well, today I'm doing an interview of one of the founders here at the guitar store. He's the artist and relations person here. His name is Dave Weiderman. Dear good friend of mine. Let's go in and meet him. Well, hello, David.
How are you?
I'm here talking with Mr. Dave Weiderman. Dave, introduce yourself to all the fine people of the Cheron Moore Show audience, if you will.
I am Dave Weiderman. I'm with Guitar Center here in Hollywood and actually nationwide, so I'm everywhere.
Dave, tell us what is your role here at the Guitar Center?
I'm the Director of Artist Relations and PR. So I do everything from take care of an artist to put their hands in cement and rock walk out front.
And that's something I do want to talk about eventually, the rock walk.
Yeah.
Dave, before I get started, you've seen it all. I mean, you've seen it all. Are you exhausted or what?
You never get tired of something you love to do. You do what you do and you love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life.
Tell me something. When you was a young man, did you aspire to be a musician?
I was 12 years old. I got my first drum set. I got my first drum gig at New Year's Eve. I got my first gig, and I played the gig, and then I eventually got enough money to buy a cymbal and a stand. So my first love was gear, and getting gear, and playing music to get gear. So it was awesome.
Did you have the talent of being a drummer? So was being a drummer your first dream or first endeavor?
It actually was, yeah. I wanted the drum set in my first gig, and my father and mother got me my first drum set when I was 12.
Wow. Did you get out and work? Did you get out and learn the kit and get a few gigs around the school and things?
You know, it was really strange. I couldn't get a drum set until I actually learned to play. So that was I wanted to learn as much as I can so that I could get a drum set.
Isn't that something? Now that seems hard because you have an ambition to want to play. You need a drum set to learn how to play. How do you see what I'm saying?
Well, my dad had a music store, so I used to go in and sweep up the floor and take care of the drum teachers there. And I would get free lessons.
Isn't that something? Did you eventually go on to play and become a drummer?
Absolutely.
Oh, tell me about it. Where are you from, though, Dave?
I'm from Chicago.
Chi-Town.
Yeah, Chi-Town.
I didn't know you was from Chicago. I thought you maybe was from upstate California here.
No, Illinois, yeah.
Chi-Town. So you're 12 years old. You around that time, you get this drum kit. You got out and you start gigging and playing. What was your first band? What was your first few days like as a drummer?
You know, the first thing is to play with others. So the first thing you do is you get the records. You sit in groups of people in basements and you learn the records. I remember my first thing my band wanted to learn the White Album. So we got the White Album and I learned every piece and part of the White Album.
For the members that are way younger than us, what was the White Album? Who was that by?
Oh, the White Album was Beatles.
The Beatles, see? Yeah. There it is, right there. So
you know, in your neighborhood, you were either, in my neighborhood, I was either a Beatle fan or a Stones fan. So, you know, that's how I learned about the Yardbirds, and I love the Yardbirds. And you're either a Beatle fan or a Stones fan. And because I was a Stones fan, I got to learn about the Yardbirds.
So you had your own band, huh?
Oh, well, you know, the best thing to do is to get together in groups and play as a group, you know.
How did your father take it as you started to?
Well, my dad used to book. He used to book everything out of the music store. So the coolest thing in the world was Dad hiring you to do gigs.
Come on, none of us had that privilege.
I know.
And even having a store, you could go and get equipment.
I know, it was awesome. You know, I love that part of it.
Chi-Town. What was Chi-Town like? Now, what years are, not to give a secret away, but what years are we talking here?
God! If you're gonna sit there and put me to a year, it's gonna be a tough one.
Okay, so you got the band going. This is right around high school or so?
Oh yeah,
High school. Chi-Town. Chi-Town's pretty rough though now.
Well, it's not that bad.
Yeah, and the winters, ooh.
Oh yeah. Well, the wind coming off the lake, we used to call it the hawk.
Yes, I remember that. The hawk. The hawk.
Yeah, the wind come off the lake, it just goes right into the marrow of your bones. It was so cold.
Yeah, well, so you did the drumming thing. As you progressed as a drummer, did you get out and work professionally, or did you move on to other things?
Well, the whole idea was to work professionally.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to get out there and actually make a dollar, make yourself worthy of being able to get paid for something that you do. And when you get paid, you can actually buy things and move up into what you do.
As you played on, did you do any recording sessions? Is there anything around that we could hear, we could listen to, that you might have played on back in the day? Maybe your own music?
Yeah, there is, but nothing that you can go out and buy right now. So.
Boy, I would love to hear some of those tracks you did.
Well, I'll definitely put that together for you.
Never knew you was a drummer.
Oh, my whole life.
Never knew you was a drummer.
Yeah.
So now we're coming past schooling years. College. Did you stay with music in college, or did you do other things?
I had DePaul University in Chicago.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That was always fun.
When did
I went to DePaul because I love. There was a band called CTA, Chicago Transit Authority, and I love that band. They went to DePaul, so I went to DePaul because they were there, and that was you love something, you follow what you love.
And you get a chance to hang with them and meet them?
I did actually, yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to sit in with them?
They got a chance to sit in with me, which was fun.
You still got photos and all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So then college, one of the things later on I'm going to ask you, how did all that turn to business? Tell me about family. You have kids and family and everything?
Basically, my whole family were musicians. My mom and dad were music teachers, and that's how they met. They met in a music school, and they taught together.
Your whole life has been about music.
Oh, my whole life.
I never knew that.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that something? And
you love what you do, and you do what you love.
Yeah, yeah, and it's your passion. It just sustains you your whole life.
Exactly.
And you go through the. I think, and I have other
you
segments.
Try and share that with people too.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel for people that don't know their talent or that don't get to make it their livelihood.
Yeah.
Because then life becomes a grind.
It does.
And it's so easier when you get a chance to work within your passion or your talent. I think if Kobe Bryant couldn't pick up a basketball, he'd probably go crazy.
I love what exactly. It's the same thing. He does what he loves, and he loves what he does.
How did all of this, David, turn to business? How did it turn to the business and the music industry product world, the instruments and the business? How did that side of you come about?
Well, that was the beginning. My father had a music store, so it was just. First thing I did when I worked for him was I used to sweep up and clean up, and sell picks and strings and Rico Royal things. It was just everything I could do. Anything I could do at the music store, I would do.
Yeah.
From cleaning windows to selling picks and strings.
Has that helped you in your business world now?
Oh, absolutely. It's part of it. There's a certain amount of joy that comes when you deal with people that are coming in to learn something. And you're able to share that.
Okay, I'm here with my dear friend Dave Weiderman from the Guitar Center. Where are we, Dave, in this great room? I see all the great guitars in the back of us.
Well, these guitars hanging on the wall represent certain artists that down through the years have either used the guitars or signed the guitars, or they were their own personal guitars. The silver one over here on the right was our anniversary model, and the one behind your head here was Stevie Ray Vaughan's. He signed that guitar.
And I'll give you guys a chance in TV land to get to see all these. I'll shoot some B-roll of them. So you were saying that there is no difference between coming from, well, actually, what was going on back in those days, and then we came through analog, of course, and the digital world. What do you think of that transition from analog to digital? Do you like that? Do you think that the music is the same?
It actually is the same. And there's really no difference between analog and digital. I mean, it's just sonically. But as far as what you're trying to create with the music, it's all the same.
You think that machines have caused us to lose the control, lose the warmth in music, lose the passion in it?
No, because it's always something you put into it. You always have control of whatever you're doing. It doesn't create music for you. You're just still creating the music.
When you first saw the drum machine come down the pipe, what did you think?
In what way? Because my first thought was, I first thought of Simmons drums and playing on Simmons drums. It was just another form of playing drums. The difference between the hard surface and the soft surface was still the same.
You've actually got to meet a lot of these guys, Roland and Fender, and a lot of these great people. And I'm going to see some of them down in Rockwalk. What were all those relationships like? What were all of those guys like?
You meet them, and just like I meet you, you create a relationship just by smiling, shaking a hand, and creating a hi. How are you? I'm me, and you're you. We can do business together because we're human beings.
You actually came up with a lot of those guys when they were inventing a lot of that stuff. With you being here at the Guitar Center, did they ever check with you to see if this would work, that would work, or what do you think of this, or how would this play out in the sales market?
Yeah, they're always looking for the next great thing, and of course they're going to look for holler out, is this going to work for you? Would it work for this? Would it work for that? It's just simple conversations.
Who were some of your favorites back in those days? Some of those founders. Who were some of the guys that you just thought, he's really got something here?
I love Remo Ballet. Remo was great. He created the drum head, and you think in terms of like, wow, the drum head. How simple was that? And Remo is just a great guy.
I've seen you with all of them, Vic Firth, and all of those guys.
Vic was awesome, wasn't he?
Warm guy.
I still play a Vic Firth SD9 driver. That's my stick. And even though it's very close to a 5A or 5B, or a combination between a 5A and 5B, it's still my stick. You find something, you play it, it feels right, it becomes yours.
So true. I didn't ask, but who were some of your favorite drummers coming up? Who were the guys you listened to?
Oh, name them. They were my favorite. Vinnie Colaiuta was one of my very favorites. I think that was amazing.
Yeah, I think Vinnie had 4 hands. I really do.
He was amazing. Forget it. He is.
Yeah,
Continues to be.
There were so many. Let me ask you about the Guitar Center.
Sure.
How did you come to get started and meet and get started at the Guitar Center here?
I wanted to. I moved from Las Vegas to California, and I walked in, and you just walk into what you know, what you do best, and when you walk in, you look for a gig.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that.
How long have you been with the Guitar Center company?
I'm the oldest living employee. Can you imagine that? Oldest living employee. Not that I'm old.
No.
It could be older.
I know you've seen a lot. I remember these the Guitar Center back with carbon paper.
There you go.
And the guys would have ink all over their hands and whatnot.
Yeah, true.
I love it here. I think the Guitar Center single-handedly has created so many dreams. So much music out there have come out of here. I know I used to see in the old days, they used to bring you plaques of some of the hit records that you guys helped get the equipment or knew the artists and so forth?
You know, those were always good to hang on the wall, but they're just thank yous. They're thank yous for helping them do what they do best. And when they do something best, they can sell as much as they can. They're just thank yous.
What'd you do with all those plaques, David?
Some of them I hang up everywhere, and some of them I just store away.
Some of them are probably keepsakes that, I mean, because you have some great rock bands that have come through.
Oh, yeah.
And you actually remember the beginning of like Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and all that around
Absolutely,
here. Absolutely, yeah. See, that alone is like 2 hour conversation.
Well, just meeting Guns N' Roses was a combination of 2 bands, and Tracy Guns was the first. He just came to the store looking for God, I forgot his name already. But Tracy Guns was just in from Indiana, and he was supposed to come here to meet me so I could call. God, I forgot his name already. Forgive me. I'm sorry.
No worries. Is Tracy, does that name Guns come from Tracy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I was just trying to remember the other guy's name.
Right.
But that's how it started. The Guns and the Roses. There was a guy named Rose, and I'm trying to remember his first name.
Got you. Oh, boy.
And I can't. I'm sorry.
And what were they like when they first walked in the store? Were they all bushy eye and pigtails, or were they the hardcore that we got to see?
They're just looking for to start. They're he came in from Indiana, and it was his first trip in from Indiana into a big store. And, their eyes get big, and they look at the whole floor, and it's just filled with guitars and drums, and it's just wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, Tracy Guns.
Tracy Guns, that's it.
Yeah.
Tracy Guns.
Yeah.
Does some of those guys, you get to stay in touch with some of those guys? Some of the different bands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still see them every once in a while.
I've seen you with Stevie Wonder. I've seen you with
I love Stevie.
Yeah, I love him.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He was just on TV on channel CBS or Channel 2 or something. He's in the car with this guy, and they're both singing. It was just awesome.
I just did a show. I did an interview with they had Stevie over at the ASCAP Expo.
Right.
Either this week and a weekend before, and I shot it for my show, and it's one of the upcoming episodes.
Oh, cool.
So Stevie, it's like talking to your friend, talking to a family member every time you see him. Tell me about
my buddy Ryan. I work with Ryan Mason quite a bit, and he takes care of Stevie now. It's just one of those things where he's one of the best. You put the best with the best.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Keep that relationship really clean and going strong.
What do you think of all this new stuff? Some of this rap stuff coming through, and these. Do you ever see these kind of guys coming through? Some of the new guys.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's just new, and there's nothing wrong with new music, new kinds of music, new ways of looking at things, and every generation is 19 years. Every generation has their own music, and we get to see them new music coming up all the time. Every 19 years.
I'm back with my dear friend Dave Weiderman. David, we was talking about rap music. Did that change the industry because everything went through turntables after that and things like that, and wasn't as many instruments on stage?
Well, as I was just saying, every generation has their own music. Every generation is 19 years, and when you look at rap is just the next generation and the next music. And if every generation has their music and rap is the next one, what's after that?
So true.
It doesn't change. People create something. They create something beautiful and great. and it's beautiful and great to them and their generation in music.
You said every generation is 19 years.
19 years.
What do you mean? How can you explain it?
Well, think about it. 19 years is a generation of music, and every generation changes with their music.
Ah. So, with rap music, did that interrupt sales, or did it, like, I see you guys got into turntables, and if I'm not mistaken, and I see a whole different pro area down there, and so on and so forth.
It's just different, it's new.
Ah,
It's new and exciting.
it is. You guys got other stuff. You got lights down there now, and disco stuff, and
Oh, we've done that for years. We always try to stay on top of things.
yeah. Who's the barometer for Guitar Center? Do they have people that just watch the trends and things, or you guys are just in the know because you're in the
I
center
gotta
of it?
tell you that the customers that walk through the door demand what they want to buy. And if you remember what I said, every generation is 19 years. And if you think in terms of what were you doing 19 years ago, and what were your kids doing 19 years ago, what were their kids doing 19, and think about mom and dad, what they did 19. It's all changes, and it evolves into something that's great.
What do you want to share with the Cheron Moore Show audience?
I just want to say that the most important thing you do in life, in general, it doesn't matter if it's music or whatever, the most important thing is the truth. Tell the truth. Keep truth on the tip of your tongue, and always be truthful in whatever you do. You'll never go wrong with that.
Censorship and the truth.
Mm-hmm.
How do you play off those two?
What do you want to censor?
Sometimes the expression, sometimes the topic, sometimes
Why?
the art itself.
Why would you want to censor it?
There's so many artists that want to tell their story, their viewpoint, and it's raw, but it doesn't fit formats, but it's intrusive to some people, but it's forward and so on and so forth to media. How do you stay true to it and still appease or please?
There is never anything wrong with the truth.
Mm.
If it's true, if it's real, it's okay. On every level. The truth is the most important thing.
Oldest employee here, longest working employee. How you do it? I mean, how do you keep up with these young guys? You've seen at least 3 generations come through here.
Because you do what you, like I said before, you do what you do and you do what you love. It doesn't matter how old that kid is sitting in front of you. He still is important. So important to what you do.
This is not a fair question, but was there a favorite generation? Maybe some of the old rockers, some of the old spandex days with the makeup and hair?
Actually, no. It doesn't matter what it is. Like I said before, every generation is 19 years, and every 19 years is a new form of music. And you just gotta love what you do and do what you love.
You've been a rock in my life for a long time.
See?
And you've been the same guy since day one. The same guy.
That's the truth.
The same guy. I mean, when I pick up the phone and speak with you, I shouldn't say this, but I almost can hang my hat on some kind of a yes. Some kind of, how can I help you? I've never heard you say to me, no. With nothing. I mean, we work it out.
I want to figure
I
out.
appreciate that.
I want to figure out a way to say yes. Figure out a way to say yes to everyone that I deal with.
Wow. Just so much. Anything else you want to share to the audience? We appreciate you speaking about the truth. What do you tell that young musician that, he don't have the money, he's got big dreams, he's stuck in the middle of nowhere? What do you tell him about starting his career and going about getting to the big city or getting his music out?
Find somebody to hang with, whether it be a band or a mentor or something. Find somebody that's going to give to you, It could be anybody in life, but find somebody who's going to help you do what you do best, and be the best that you could be.
Wow. Where's the Guitar Center going now? What's the future? What are they looking at now? We got so much Wi-Fi, so much social media, so much this and the other. What's the evolvement of Guitar Center going forward? You've been in the crust, in the middle, in the center of everything. What's going forth? Are we gonna see a Guitar Center on Mars one day, maybe?
That's funny. Well, we already have spaceships on our own spaceships on Mars, so why not? That would be funny.
Yeah. Did you ever get to meet the founders?
Oh, sure.
What were they like?
I'm one of the founders.
Yeah, true. That's so true.
Yeah.
What were they like?
They were just people trying to do the best they could possibly do. And it's, I just want to keep it real for the customer that walks through the door. The founders really don't mean anything if they can't take care of the person that walks through the door.
So true.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you giving us this interview
My pleasure.
at the Cheron Moore Show.
Great to see you.
I just want to say thank you so much to the Guitar Center, my dear friend for the longest. I can't tell you what it was like me walking in the store as a young, bright, bushy-eyed kid buying a drum set. I showed you the receipt a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
My last money on my last credit card, I said, I'll buy the drum set. And this man in his store made a way and found a way I could get it at a good price and still get some good equipment. Actually, I was broke, to tell you the truth.
We all were, weren't we?
I just appreciate it. Hey, listen, we'll be right back here at the Cheron Moore Show.